This song is called Over the Wire. The last time I wore my uniform.
It's Sunday, January 25th, and you've tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to WP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Threes Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach the future generations the value of freedom. A freedom secured by the brave men and women who have worn our community and nation's uniform. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6. Now playing on WP3 Radio, this fight over the wire.
It won't go out. One pair of boots will face the fire. The other pair is going over the wire. The hardest lesson I've ever learned.
Left your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Doctors, roll out.
You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Good evening, Andrea Eichmann here, and I am with Mark and Frank, and we are bringing you, we got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project. Every week, Sunday evening, 1800 Central Time, we are here, and we bring on a guest or two, someone to share their mission, and someone to hopefully share some music with us. And then sometimes we can talk about all the good things and the not so good things that are happening in our world. This week, we are going to have some amazing discussions with our guests. On the screen soon will be Aaron Curtis Owen. He's going to share some music. It's been a while since we've had him on. And we will have Rent Dilks right here from Minnesota. He's going to share what his mission is and what he's doing to move forward. Actually, there might be more than one mission in this whole thing. So we'll hang on and we will listen. Let me just share with you a couple of our sponsors. We love our sponsors. First, we have got Catch 22. Peer support group with the Godfather. That's Derek Iozio. He is our Godfather right here at the People's Patriot Project. He is out there doing his deal, having his groups. My gosh, there's hardly a time when you can't find a group that he's leading or that he's part of. So if you need something, please reach out to Derek Iozio. Lauren, we have Lauren as well. She's part of the People's Patriot Project, and Lauren Iozio, is part of a couple of those groups as well. I would also like to share with you Operation Texas Strong. My gosh, you guys, it just dawned on me with all the storms and the cold and the snow going on down there. We need to check in with Peggy and Bobby. He was just talking on Friday about getting ready and being prepared, and if they need anything, to get a hold of him at Operation Texas Strong, and they will help out with anyone who is lacking in housing and other needs. So Operation Texas Strong on the everyday mission will take your used and usable RVs and put homeless veterans in them down by Weatherford, Texas. But we've helped them put people in those RVs all around the country. So let's do it for Bobby and Peggy. Thank you very much, Crutzingers. To all of our sponsors, our guests, and our listeners, thank you so much. And before we dive into this week's show, please take a moment to join us for this amazing version of the Star Spangled Banner with David Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the U.S. of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the
Patriot Pride.
It's time for We Got Your 6 at 6. The team is here, the crew is here, everyone's ready to roll, and it is time to get on the show. Let's grow.
Just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen,
Play ball.
Let's grow, folks. Hey, look at this amazing crew of people. Frank, how'd you sneak up there? You don't get to sneak up there, buddy. Come on, dude.
Hey, Peterson, can I interrupt something unscripted right here, right now?
Oh, I suppose. Let's unscript it.
I know. Maybe Aaron knows this. I just saw Officer Alexandria Cano Castro from Corpus Christi Police Department is in critical condition after being shot in the head while attempting to apprehend a homicide suspect. Please pray for her. Sorry. I don't want to start out the show that way, but it popped up pretty huge in my feed as I was watching the People's Patriot Project.
I cannot hear.
People
anything.
watch what we do.
I can't hear.
We will not go down the road. We will not.
Can you hear me?
We're going to stay center.
I can't hear y'all.
We're going to stay center, folks. This is the one thing I need us to all do. We need to all slow down. We all
I've got
need
no
to
audio from y'all.
Aaron, just come back in real quick. See if that works.
I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Sorry, I was just gonna. I don't have his number though. Well, here, I got it.
Yeah. All right, we'll get that all fixed. We'll get Aaron taken care of. Everyone, slow down. Take a breath. There is absolute no need for all the stuff. Both sides, get it together, man. Both sides. There are non-truths being said. There are non-facts being collected. And we're not going to dance that dance. We are going to be the tip of the spear. We're going to move forward. We're going to keep positive. We're going to keep a positive mindset. We're going to keep dancing what's right. And at the end of the day, we hope everyone is safe and gets to enjoy their day with their friends and their family and regardless of what it is. So that's been our stance from the very beginning, and it will be our stance forever. If you are not telling a truth, and if you are what I call parroting, which means you are just taking information from one spot and plugging it into another spot without doing any type of research, and before we know the absolute truth, I watched a public figure the other day make the statement, I know what I've seen. I'm having a hard time with some of that, knowing that that person was not on site of any of the given situations. So you are getting to see what someone wants you to see. You're getting to follow a narrative that someone wants to give you. Slow down. Let's be real. Not everyone's going to get it right all the time. But in the reality, no one should be losing their lives over this stuff right now. That's my opinion. But everyone should be safe. Be safe. Be safe. That's it. Well, we're going to get to work real quick because we come here every week, and you know that we ask you to jump on board with the mission of the People's Patriot Project. And we have a new spokesperson. Actually, we have a whole new team for WP3 that we'll be breaking out here soon. But we're going to listen to Bastian the Bison for the Check Your Six.
At the People's Patriot Project, our mission is more than just words. It's a call to action. Each of us bears the vital responsibility to check your six. We begin this important journey with a moment of self-assessment. Ask yourself, are you truly mission ready? If the answer is no, don't wait in silence. Reach out. Use your skills. Lean into your resources and connect with your network. Whether you turn to a trusted friend, a supportive organization, or dial 988, remember, you must be battle ready to stand strong for the mission ahead. Once you feel equipped, take that next step. Reach out to 6 people in your circle. Check in on them. No agenda, no judgment, just genuine connection. This is how we build strength, shield one another, and serve our communities with pride. Together, we reaffirm our commitment. We got this. Patriot Pride.
It is time to check your six, folks. That means you are reaching out to your brothers and your sisters. It doesn't have to be veteran or first responder. It can be anyone in your network. We know that we have a mental health crisis going across our country as a whole, and people just need to know that they are felt wanted. It's that simple. Sorry, not sorry. Reach out to 6 people in your network. Again, if you're not there in that space, make sure that you reach out. You can reach out to the People's Patriot Project. We're going to hear about the mission that Trent is working on. We get to hear the awesome tunes of Aaron Curtis Owen. And there are, they say, 86,000 organizations across the country that are helping veterans and first responders. We'll get into that a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know what? I do know who's boots on the ground. I do know who is there to help. And so the People's Patriot Project and your other local nonprofits are there. Reach out to your brothers and sisters. They'll take care of you. And if they don't, let us know. We'll take care of you. So thank you for being here tonight, Trent and Aaron. Good to see you. Can we get a quick weather update around the screen? Trent, how's it in your space?
Yeah, it's lovely here in Minnesota. I think it's about 65 degrees. It was
hello, zero.
I think it's 6 degrees. But the wind did die down. We had those negative 45, negative 50 wind chills, but those are over. So positive 6 feels like a nice spring day.
I stepped out for a minute. It's -1 here, and we're probably about 40 miles apart from each other, Trent. Well, it's updated, -3 now. But I actually went out and had the radio alarm saw working and the table saw going out in the yard, and it wasn't terrible. But then there was the time where it's like, oh, that snuck on me pretty quick, and I had to get inside. The fingers.
Thursday, I filled up with gas. And the tears that were coming out of my eyes were freezing on the side of my face. I wasn't crying. It was just the wind was so cold. It was forcing the moisture out. And then, I had frozen tears on the side of my face. So I love Minnesota. I'm glad to be here.
All right, Aaron, let's hear it. How bad is it? How bad is it down there in Texas?
It's not. It's actually. It rained. What? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was working in the plant today. It was raining. They were expecting it to be, icy, but the sun came out, so a lot of the moisture dried up, and it was just kind of like a non-humid, cool 30s, mid 30s. And when I left at about 1700, it was dipping into the high 20s, so it's not horrible yet. It's supposed to snow maybe a little bit or sleet. They were going to call out a crash team at my plant, but they ended up just extending some guys, so it didn't turn out to be as horrible. But again, Monday and Tuesday are the days when it's supposed to be the coldest. Who knows? It's Texas, so wait 5 minutes and the weather will be different.
Texas is supposed to be getting some snow up in the northern part. It's just over there, I know, from where you're at, because you're down by Houston, correct?
Yeah, I'm actually I live in Santa Fe.
Okay.
So just right actually between Houston and Galveston. And I work just in South Houston, Pasadena area, so it's not a huge difference, but a little bit closer to the coast, it gets a little bit windier and chillier and wet. So it wasn't terrible. I put the 4-wheel drive on this morning, and it never really got too icy. I left it at like 2:30 in the morning, so it wasn't horrible.
Craziness. 4-wheel drive down in Texas, because you should see. Yeah, could we just do a swap one time and put Texas and Minnesota and just
y'all have the resources to and you're prepared for that. Here they don't use salt. They really don't activate any emergencies, except for they canceled school on like Wednesday. They were like, oh, they canceled Monday morning school already, 4 days out. So there's plenty of times the kids get days off of school, and it's like, it's sunny out, it's nice, and whatever.
We canceled school here in Minnesota because of the negative 51 degree wind chill. They said that's not good for kids. I don't understand what.
No.
Oh, there was still. I still saw the comments. I delivered newspapers when I was a kid in that weather. These kids weak. I pointed out in 2001 they changed how wind chill was calculated. The National Weather Service, and so what the wind chills we were seeing now pre-2001 would have been negative 85. So it really was colder when they were younger.
Oh Lordy. Oh Lordy. That's craziness. Rent Dilks, tell us who you are and tell us what your mission is, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here too. So Trent, let's see. Currently I'm working as a legislative director for the Disabled American Veterans. I've been doing that for over a decade, 11 years, veterans policy issues. For the last 6 years, I've been appointed to our committee out at DC, working on federal issues as well. So done a lot of that stuff. Before that, I was in the service. I did 10 years with the Minnesota National Guard, 2 tours over in Iraq. First one, I was called up in 2005, did 22 months. I was there for a year before the surge, and then I got surged on, so I did an extra 4 months. 16 months in Iraq for my first tour. I did convoy security. So I ran logistics convoys up and down MSR Tampa. I was on CSC Scania, south of Baghdad. If you know Iraq, there was the Alphas and the Bravos, and Scania was the gas station you stopped at. I was there, and then, I ran convoys. Somebody had to get the ice cream up to Anaconda and Biop. So the trucks would come up to us, and then we'd make sure their ice cream and the steak and crab and whatever else they needed up there on the Air Force bases got there in the reefer trucks. So then my second tour was just painful. It was when we were shutting down Iraq. So I was down in Kuwait, and that's the one that broke me, man. I could have gone back to Iraq You know, it was wild when I was there the year before the surge, but that 10 months in Kuwait with just a bunch of paper pushing guys who missed the actual war and made up for it with bureaucratic bull, that one broke my soul. I had to be done. So then after that, came back. I had bought a Harley when I was in Iraq. Took that around the country, saw 38 of the lower 48 as I kind of tried to find myself again, find my balance. You know, I was a little shaken after my first tour. Had dropped out of college, and then things, you know, spiral like they do. And next thing you know, I'm on a vegetable picking crew, and I'm picking vegetables for $5 an hour cash under the table, dragging my petite frame through the dirt to pick green beans and cucumbers. And as I was picking these cucumbers early in the morning, they rip your fingers apart because of the prickles. I was dragging myself through the mud because it had rained, and I thought, you know, I should probably go back to college. So I did that, used my GI Bill, got my degree in political science, and then I took a job with the DAV, and I've done a lot of different things for them. I filed benefits claims for veterans. I organized volunteer transportation networks. You know, you name it. But the one constant that I have done throughout all that time is I've worked on legislative and policy issues for veterans, their families, and survivors.
Well, thank you for your service, brother. I'm interested and intrigued in hearing more. I don't know how to take some of your comments, which is good, because it sounds like there was not a lot of there's some inner turmoil as you went through all this, and I'm interested to hear how you got through it, when you got through it, and what tools you used to do that. So thank you for being here, Trent, and thanks for all the things that you're doing. We do know behind the scenes there's some other things you're working on, but maybe we'll get into that here in a minute and have more of that conversation. Mr. Curtis Owen.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Don't tell me that's your max behind you there, buddy.
My what?
Is that your max? Is that your high lift right there?
That's it. I've been out of the game for a while, bud.
It's been a minute.
Hey, it's not the weight, it's the way you use it, bud.
True.
But you know, yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster ride since I seen you all last time, but it's good to see you all again. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, brother. Roller coaster good, roller coaster bad.
Just life in general.
Okay.
You have your ups and downs. Once you're at the top, the only way to get better is drop back down and reach for higher goals, you know. Such as life. That's it, you know. Just make the positives out of every situation that you come across. You know, try to learn something new every single day. You know, carry yourself and your mission and everything that you stand for. And you know, there's a lot of stuff out there right now, so it's like you said, it's to follow up what he was saying, Mr. Dilks was saying. Trent sounds like an amazing dude. I can't wait to meet you sometime, dude. But be praying for you and your family and all the mission that you continue to do, bud. You know, last time I was here, you know, it's just playing music, taking care of my kiddos, and going to work every single day, and just striving to be the very best Christian dad, friend, son, brother I can be, you know. Be a positive influence in my community. That's all you can do.
Aaron, tell us about your service, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated high school in 2003. I watched President Bush bomb Baghdad a couple days before my 19th birthday when I was a senior in high school. I had my ups and downs. I had the silver spoon. I had opportunities that I just kind of pissed away. I never really was type that wanted to go in the service, but I seen an opportunity to better myself and challenge myself. And I really just buckled down when I was a senior in high school. Decided to do the hardest thing I could, and thought I was the best route for me. I joined the Marine Corps. I went active duty. Ended up in Parris Island in 03 after high school. I graduated in June, went to Parris Island in August. I hit the fleet in March. I actually did administration, kind of the same thing as Mr. Dilks. I was the guy that did logistics when I was in Iraq in 04. I got there just a shy under a year after, actually the same month I ended up at Parris Island in 04. I deployed with 1st Marines, with 1st Medical Battalion out of Camp Pendleton. We had 5 medical facilities that we took care of. And we ran patient casualty convoys and casualty reports, and ran the J-Force trackers, and ran MSR mobile all the way from the shock trauma platoon at TQ to the Korean Village, Bravo Surgical Company in Fallujah. I was there during Operation Phantom Fury Al Fajr, the first elections. I was there from not as long as Mr. Dilks, but I ended up being there I'm getting a little bit extended, about 8 months. Was there from August of 04 to March of 05. Did my job as best as I could, as a a knucklehead private first class that got NJP'd before he left for Iraq for drinking and shit. But I made the best of it. I served my country. I was part of the 11th MU in 07, 08, and then I got out off active duty and started college at Wright State University. Got my bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. And to look for opportunities, I moved down from Dayton, Ohio. I had a lot of interpersonal problems transitioning back. I didn't feel like my mission really is advocating for veterans, advocating for my son just left for Parris Island in June on the 5th, or for San Diego, but he went in the Marine Corps. He left in January on the 5th. And, I don't want him to have to go through the same struggles, the same 22 years worth of wondering why, feeling left behind, feeling like, okay, well, I can go down a rabbit hole, but basically, you get in the Marine Corps or any other branch of service, kind of institutionalized. Your innocence is stripped away. You're geared up and ready to go. They put a lot of resources and energy and money, and you have a mission. I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to. I watched the World Trade Centers fall down in my sophomore year, and I just kind of pulled my head out of my ass through several years of high school and ended up going in the Marine Corps. And I was deployed, within a year of being there at 20 years old, seeing that, coming back home. I got off active duty at 24 years old and started college full time. So my look and my outlook on life, when I got home, and I felt like I was going down, trying to work on things, I don't want somebody to go through the same experience that I had, mainly because I don't want them to beat themselves up over it. I know that what my experience, my story, my ability to overcome adversity and just keep pushing through things, my pain tolerance, my ability to overcome and adapt to situations, we all have that ability. You need somebody in your corner. I think it's crazy that people make money off of claims. There's all these different organizations now that they understand the BS that goes through guys bringing their walls down and going and asking for help and trying to better their lives after they serve their country. And I just feel like it's kind of a disservice to our veterans that you know, you have to prove your merit, you know, and it's a lot of guys don't want to go through that experience. It's hard enough to ask for help, and then you have to sit there and be ridiculed and go through an experience, and it's like over and over and over again. I had a really horrible experience, and my biggest help and my biggest thing, I feel like, you know, I lost a lot of my innocence going in the Marine Corps. They built me back up to be somebody that could go and, at the sound of gunfire, go do what I had to do. You know, I'm be able to lay my life down for my brothers and my sisters, and that's a very admirable thing. But when you get out, you know, you don't have a lot of guys don't have the resources and the tools and the whereabouts and the fortitude to push through a lot of the situations that you feel left alone, you know, and especially trying to get some benefits. You know, I went for years. I wasn't able to go to the dentist, you know, a lot of things that I don't want anybody else to have to experience. You know, I'm glad that I have a story. I have a powerful testimony. I have God on my side this whole time, you know, but easier said than done, you know, and experiences are a lot more powerful than words that you can read in a book. You know, it's easy to educate yourself on paper, but can you put that into practice, you know? And I found music to be something very therapeutic for me. Creative arts was something that I loved when I was a little kid, all the way from like 5 years old growing up. I played in the choir, I played music, and I just felt like it was something that I could do and be successful at, and it not just be a hobby. And I've been on a mission to, you know, advocate for veterans, to play music and bring enjoyment to people in dark places. You know, that's what I love to do, and it's helped me out more than monetary gains. You know, it's something that I took on religiously, as far as playing music in church, playing music on the street, just playing music in general and doing things that I loved when I was a kid and not feel like I'm judged about it. And, you know, I was pretty good at it, and I thought, you know what, I can make money. I can do this for a living, you know? And that was probably the hardest thing for me to get over. Not to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm not really sure how long I have to talk, but I just felt like somebody might need to hear that. You know, it's do the things that you love that made you happy when you were younger, and don't really focus on if somebody's going to, you know, judge you on that, because it's, you know, you serve your country, you did something amazing, and you should be proud of yourself. And I am. I know that my family is. So anybody that's out there might be struggling, thinking like, how are you going to push through something, you know? Look back when you were a kid at like things that made you happy, and maybe bring back that innocence that you lost so long ago, you know? That's something that's helped me out over the years. But anyway, I digress. So there you go.
Perfect. It's perfect. Why don't you lay down one of your tunes for us?
All right. This song goes out to every veteran. I wrote this song for my grandfather back in the day. He was with Patton's Third Army at Battle of the Bulge. He was a 50-gal gunner. And I had inspiration when I was holding his hand as he was passing away. You know, we didn't have a really good relationship, but I love that man to death. And I thank every veteran out there for your sacrifice, and more importantly, your family, because it's easy for the guys to go out there and do their job, right? But you forget about the who you left, and you forget about the struggles. Like, I think about my mom and the mental torment that had. So this is called Americans, man, with an apostrophe S, because it shows ownership. Americans, we're America's fighting force, men and women on the street, armed forces, police department, fire department, you know. But this song mainly was written for veterans. Watch him as he fades away. 50 cal gunner in France one day. Strapped no caught him in his shoulder blade. And when he got home, New York City, pretty young thanks and can't do anything for me, baby. You already know. 'Cause I'm an American's man, that's what I am. We fought for you in a foreign land. Yeah, scattered across this great old land. Americans, man, protecting our street. They're running to a falling down building when you're screaming. Till at 19 years old, I was on my own. The only thing I knew was combat zone. Every siding was my new home. I see I was toting a gun in the Iraq sun. I consider myself the lucky one, but my mind is still in a combat zone. Oh no, you be by my side when the veteran starts to cry. Government wants to cut our benefits, so yeah. Well, my buddies, they are so lost. They'll be on their own, building institutions and these streets with homeless addicts. I'm an American man. Americans, man, that's what I am. I'm for you, foreign land. This one day, it's mine. American, a Lombard Providence made me a man, but my mind is still in the combat zone. An American's man protecting our street. They're running to a falling down building. You're in a firefight. You're screaming for your life. Bullets are flying. People are dying. American. America's man.
That is Aaron Curtis Owen, America's Man. Passion driven, lit up, absolutely felt every moment of that with you, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for that.
And then we got the amazing treat, an emotional, amazing treat watching, I'm assuming, your daughter come in and
that was a good little touch. I was like, oh, don't mess up.
You were right in the middle of it, dude. That was
Thank
outstanding.
Well, next time I'll sing Baby Shark and she'll dance around for you.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I think we have a bylaw that says Baby Shark is not allowed on the show ever. But
what about the ABC song? That one's a good one.
I'm not confident or certain that I know which one. Miss Eichmann probably does. She's got 11 grandchildren running around, so that's she probably knows which version. But I don't have
an ABC rock song. ABC's rock song version. It's pretty good.
That's a sign of a true professional, man.
I was going to say, I bet
I thought that was great.
Thank you, sir.
ABCs can probably be really fun when you have a parent who's a musician. I never thought of that.
It is. It's Baby Shark. When you combo Baby Shark and ABCs together, I mean, people lose their minds. I'll tell you that. So,
you can pull in the adults with that too. I'm sure of that.
That's my everything right there. Her and my brother, they're my everything. My kids are everything to me.
It sounds like through your conversation that there is just a passion to serve, continue in your world, to right a ship that necessarily didn't sail the right way for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think everybody wakes up and gets to do exactly what it is they want to do, or think the path that they're going to take is the right one. You commit to commit to something, and you're blown away at where you end up. You just commit to it. You stay with it. You don't beat yourself up. You pick yourself up off the ground. Life is like that. It's up and downs. You just keep on moving forward. You can't keep trying if you give up. If you check out early, it's the game's over. You can't do that. And as one of the biggest things is our demographics got the highest suicide rate, right? So we're the smallest demographic, but at the same time, we got to police our own. We got to get guys out there that truly were passionate about me personally getting the help they need, because basically you don't take the resources or don't push for the resources. Who's to say they don't just say, well, what's the point of even having them? Because it looks like everybody's okay. The same token, I feel like it's kind of the opposite, because the experiences I've had at the VA over the years with the old timers and the horror stories, them going through and pushing through, and the way they were treated when they came back home, and the way they just pushed through the adversity. And I don't know, man, it's kind of like a never ending cycle. There's a lot of opportunity for improvement through the Department of Veteran Affairs, which is a federal entity. But my own personal experience is, it's like, you got to prove your worth. You got to, I don't know. It's a crazy, I could go down the rabbit hole on that one, but my thing is I don't want somebody to experience the same 20 years of headaches. And, I'm the type of person, if you're in a hole, I'm not just going to throw a rope down there. I'm going to throw a rope down there. I'm going to get down in the hole with you, and we're going to get through it on your terms. We're going to make it work. I have a story. I have experiences. I have failures. I have empathy. I understand what it's like to convince everybody around you don't have a problem. Convince yourself, that you're the greatest person on earth, when at all you need somebody in your corner that's been there. One of my biggest things is there's not a mentoring program when guys get out. It's like, you got to hear the horror stories. You got to hear all the different conversations. I don't know. You've been there, you understand. But that was always crazy to me that there wasn't people really there that could navigate it, and they don't take the information and better the system. It's like you still gotta convince people of something or convince yourself of. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'm not conveying it enough, but
it's not hard to explain, Aaron, because it goes back to the conversation I started at the beginning of the show that talks about 86,000 organizations that say they're helping. We've completely muddied the waters. We've completely led our men and women astray. We've let the youngest. One of the photos I love putting up, and I don't know if I love it, but it hurts my heart. There's when the battle boats were going to Iwo Jima, there's a couple where they show the pictures of the beach boats of the young men in the back of those boats. And there are literally 17-year-olds that look like and I guarantee you, there's one picture we put up all the time. The kid is no more than 15 years old, if that. And we also know here in the state of Minnesota, we just lost a good one. He lied to get into the service, and he was only 15. And back in the day, they didn't have all the pieces. 100 years ago. It would have been 85 years ago. And so they're like, a kid walks in, says, "Hey, I'm signing up." Okay, they sign the dotted line, and next thing you know. But I totally get what you're saying. And that is the piece where we need to create a program. Now, I'll go down the rabbit hole a little bit. Before they created the next branch of the military, I was actually talking to legislators. I wanted to build another branch of the military, but it would be like a civilian side that reached out specifically to all the veterans that were retiring or leaving service to help them get into the right programs, get into the right processes, hold their hands. But here's the deal, Aaron. As you were exiting, or even when you were in service, how many of those meetings did you go to that an NCO or even an officer, for Pete's sakes, led? Or a contractor would come in and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do." You all know you were just waiting to get to the next beer bust and get to the next piece and get to the next place. And the last thing you want to do is sit in a meeting or do a training or do any of those pieces. Unless it went boom. Everyone wanted to do the big boom trainings because those were fun. But when it came down to like logistics in life, it's like, what can I do to get through this now? Because they're all young and dumb and full of rum. I made that up just now. They didn't realize the investment of a life that they're going to have to invest in. Now, I would say the majority, roughly 76% of service members get out after their first 4 years, and you get very few that go anywhere past their first 4 years. But again, that's 4 years, literally, and no one's going to like when I say this word. I'm not being negative, folks. It retarded their process of growth in the real world, because you sat back in the billet, seeing how many keystones you could hammer night in, night out, and who could projectile vomit the farthest, and how many. What is the big cans of, I can't remember what.
Four Locos?
Thank you. Four Locos. How many Four Locos can you get your dumb brother to do and, be able to wake up the next day for a PT formation or any of that stuff? I mean, we know that.
We had the docs on hand to give IVs, so we were good.
I tell you were. Oh, Trent, jump in on this, brother.
There's a lot there, right? You talk about all the veterans organizations, and something I've taken a deep dive into lately is suicide prevention. It's the next big issue. It's the next veterans homelessness is, in Minnesota, something we focused on. They're ready to declare it at functional zero. We've spent millions and millions of dollars We've built houses. We've built networks. There doesn't mean there'll never be homelessness again. It means when there is, it should be short. It should be addressed immediately, and it should be non-reoccurring, right? And statewide, we're ready to do that. And as we look at suicide prevention, I had a chance to interview some leaders in the state government on it, and I got out in front of myself a little bit, and I let them know how much I absolutely hate suicide awareness. I despise suicide awareness as a program or as a topic. Anybody on this not aware that we have a suicide problem with veterans? All right, freaking mission accomplished. All right, we're aware of it. Let's find a way to address it. I am so sick of awareness missions. There are nonprofits. There are you know why it's everybody's mission? Because it's so damn easy to do. You make really cool merchandise. You do a lot of really hoo-ah stuff. You drop down into your underwear, whatever. You do this stuff, and now we're all aware suicide is a problem. Well, no crap. I get so frustrated with that because it's the easy part. The hard part is, how do we address it? Suicide isn't the illness, it's the end, right? And so you got to move upstream of what's going on here. And we know who's committing suicide if we're willing to actually look at the data, right? We know that justice-involved veterans are way more likely to commit suicide. We know you're more likely to commit suicide if you don't see the VA. We know of those who are in the VA, do you know what the number one diagnosis is? If you do attend the VA as a veteran, for those who end up committing suicide, not mental health, it's pain. Pain is the number one complaint of veterans who end up committing suicide that attend the VA. The number one eligibility group that goes to the VA that ends up committing suicide, it's not those who are eligible for the VA because of their combat experience. It's not those who are eligible because of their disability. It's the eligibility group that is there because of poverty. The number one group of veterans who go to the VA and killing themselves are eligible because they're so impoverished. So we know poverty is an issue. We know justice involvement is. That the idea that we keep attacking this issue at the point of the crisis seems insane to me. People are feeling isolated. People are losing their mission. People are losing their sense of purpose. And we're now aware of it. So let's cut the crap on awareness and move to addressing the actual problems. I get a little fired up about this one. And that's what happened on my podcast when I had the commissioners in front of me.
I absolutely love the passion you have behind that, brother. And again, it's kind of the purpose and the reason why, however many people, roughly 5 to 17,000 are going to hear this podcast, and there needs to be a call to action. And how hard is it? And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but how hard is it to pick up a phone and say, hey, how are you doing? And BS, because I've seen your posts on Facebook, or I've seen your post on Instagram and Snapper Chat and all those things. BS, we're getting the brothers together, but no one takes time. No one invests anything other than, oh man, if I got to get off the couch, then, and that's for self and for others. I mean, you got some strong thumbs because you've been doing this for how long, and you can play your Mortal Kombat all freaking day long, but because there is the conversation, the transition from military. Now you're finding that literally 90% of those that have issues leaving the military actually had the issues before they got into the military, and they never dealt with those childhood or those life-related issues that now you're being held accountable. You could hide for the first 4 years in your little platoon of, devil dogs, because that's what you could do. But now the rent is due, brother. Oh, well, I don't even know how to get rent. Yeah. How do I do that? How do I pay my bills? How do I get it? And yeah,
Well, you look at it coldly. DOD don't care. They don't care. You leave, they're done. They're on to the next one. The service doesn't remember and the service doesn't care. And so they have no reason to facilitate that transition, right? We're thinking about it as humans. Think about it as an entity. Any penny they spend on that won't buy a new chair in the Pentagon. You know, unfortunately, that's how it's felt. When we've tried to get smooth transitions, your state Veterans Affairs should be alerted when an active duty soldier is coming home. They say they're coming back to Minnesota or Texas. There should be an at-home network. We're not asking the DOD to spend anything. Just alert the state local resources so they can call in the nonprofits, the mentors at the lowest possible level. DOD won't do it. It might take them a little bit of administrative work and they're not interested. But we know it would have a huge positive impact. Once you're done, once you're out of the ranks, man, I haven't seen any willingness by DOD to step up and help with that next step.
It's interesting you make that comment because I know that people are passionate. People want to be involved at some level. I know everyone wants to attack the VA. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. Your local CVSO. I've got thumbs up and thumbs down about those people too. And they get paid to sit in that office and do what they're doing. And some of them don't necessarily invest. Now, I get it. And first of all, I know if you're sitting amongst, I'm a puppy in a puppy mill here. I know if I'm not running up to that bowl, I ain't getting to eat. So first, you're going to have to beat me to the bowl. And second, you're going to have to, if you want any part of your share, you're going to have to take it yourself. And that's a piece that we got to figure out in society as a whole is how do we get people to be hungry for themselves? I refuse. You brought up homelessness. I know that there's food scarcity. I think those are two spaces in my head. I don't think anyone who's served their country in any capacity, I don't think anyone should go without food. I don't think anyone in our country should go without food. Let's face it. There's plenty of resources for. Now, it may not be your sugared cereal, Lucky Charms, Cocoa Pebble, Fruit Loops, but you know what? That doesn't necessarily feed you. I mean, you may not get T-bones. I did welfare fraud for a good chunk, and I sat there and I watched people come in and get their 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew, a pack of a box of donuts, and their chips, and that was their meal for the day every single day. That needs to be regulated as a whole. And I know, my gosh, I'm going to step on some people's toes.
I'm working on food insecurity, and I've always found this welfare. When I was a kid, we literally didn't have running water for a year. I grew up as poor as you can grow up, and I graduated in 2004. But one of the things as I was working my way out of that was my mom knew how to cook and make $7 last 3 meals. I've always wondered, what happens if you're poor and you don't come from that? Well, somebody's never taught you that a pan of spaghetti can stretch out for 3 days before the next paycheck comes in. I hear all this criticism about that one, about buying the junk food and crap on food stamps. We can all agree that better food and more nutritious food is better for people. But you're going to teach the class? We're going to teach the budgeting, shopping, cooking. I was lucky. I got taught that from my mom, who also grew up poor. And so I knew how to stretch that. But if you don't have those skills, you don't have those skills. Where do you acquire them? You know what I mean? If you grew up on junk food and crap, and the next step is you buy junk food and crap, well, no crap you do. You know, that's the obvious choice, isn't it? So I've thought about that recently. I think we need to help people with the tools in their toolbox instead of just blaming the people who might be doing what they grew up with and what their parents may have grown up with.
But if we cut off those opportunities, pop should not be on the list of things you can get. I'm sorry. I'm just water, milk, juice. Abuse the juice. I'm fine with that. That's all processed food. Oh, you're going to get me down another rabbit hole altogether. Processed foods as a whole just needs to go bye-bye, but whatever. They're working on it. But you're 100% right, because the learning, education. One of the things on our board that our guys are always asking, how are we teaching people to go to the next? What are we doing to teach and learn people? And you're not wrong. That is the piece.
Food deserts. I went down a rabbit hole studying food deserts. What an amazing thing that is. What happens when you're poor and you don't have a vehicle and you're in a food desert? What's the reasonable distance to go get fresh and quality food versus the corner bodega or gas station or whatever is available? There's so much that goes into it, but it's so easy to blame the person who's doing it without thinking about all of the things that go into that. And I just think we got to be careful with that, like you said at the top.
Yeah. It's craziness. It's not craziness. It's our world. And education needs to be at the root of everything that we do. To be honest with you, it's never going to happen because these young men and women going into service. I know we send them to AIT and their battle school, all the pieces, but we're not teaching them life skills at those things. We're teaching them their job, that in theory, whether they're doing it a good job or bad job, of what they're going to do to serve for the next 4 years at max. And home
ec was probably more important than algebra.
In some cases,
I look back at it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we have home ec anymore, but.
Oh, Frank DeMith.
Sure.
We didn't get to see results for the NFC today. Not yet. That's coming. Did you guys watch any part of that?
Well, I'll tell you what, that whoever wins the NFC, they're the Super Bowl champion.
You think so?
Oh, that game for the AFC was horrid.
The weather wasn't that great. So,
come on. I know Denver has a good defense, but geez, you put up 10 points and Denver's the home team and only scores 7 and got the quarterback running around like a chicken with his head cut off, tossing the ball somewhere, hoping someone runs underneath it.
First time in history, the quarterback is throwing a pass and had not thrown a regular season pass ever.
Yeah.
So,
I feel bad for them. They put the best that they had out there, but my God,
it's in the books. The Patriots are going.
I would guess that Seattle will win, and I would also guess that the Super Bowl may be the highest point differential Super Bowl ever.
Oh, predictions going down. What do you got for the news, brother?
Oh, I thought we were going to kind of skip it today, but we can go ahead.
You want to?
It's up to you. I'd like to hear some more music, and I'd like to hear more about Mr. Dilks' plan to move forward and do great things.
News is canceled this evening, folks. He's not allowed to talk about any current events in Minnesota either. So that's.
Well, I can tell you one news event.
What are you going to tell us about?
Well, you skip right over me with the weather. So out here in West by God, Virginia, it's going to be in single digits. We already had 11 inches of snow, and it's still snowing. But then it decided that it would take a 3-hour break and turn into ice. So it's one of those here, hold my beer days on the freeway.
Good old West Virginia.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get my snowblower going. My wife was giving me a hard time, and it's like, I'll fix it. And I got it up and running. Thank God,
You know
man.
what? If the snowblower isn't working, just hand the shovel to her and have her go take care of business.
We got a driveway. we got a driveway that'll fit 12 cars.
No one needs that, Frank. No one needs that.
Well, that's what we got. I didn't build it. I just bought it. It seemed like a good idea.
Aaron Curtis Owens.
Yes, sir.
What are you working on right now, brother?
What do you mean?
In life, what are you getting done?
I just transitioned to a new career, which is extremely nerve-wracking. I don't like necessarily mixing things up and changing it, but I felt like I needed to push myself to a new envelope. I needed to take on some more challenges. It was me being on the road over the last 10 years. I mean, when I get on the first podcast with you, I was working on the road, traveling all over the country, doing industrial hydroblasting all over the place, different industries, power industries, chemical plants, water facilities, paper mills, anything that had a product that was transferring from one place to another generally gets plugged up. We went in there, blasted it out, and it was the first opportunity I had outside of the military, like a first big boy job, and it was everything to me. It provided everything for my family. It was very, very difficult. I traveled a lot. I was on the road all the time. I mean, when I say all the time, I probably 70, 80, 90% of my life I spent on the road away from my kids. The two that have come out here, my son that just came out here, he's 8. And I maybe made it to a couple of his birthdays, like milestones, significant moments in his life, significant moments in her. She's almost 6, they're my everything. I wanted to be present. I felt like if I was on the road and away from them, I wasn't there. I wanted to find an opportunity. I tried to get an opportunity with the company that I was with, and it just didn't work out. Yes, baby.
Cam's not sharing the Cool Whip, and he ate it.
Okay.
This is
What?
I love you. Go get some Cool Whip. Go get another snack.
Give me my teddy bear.
I will. Here you go. I love you.
Sorry,
Sorry,
double
Dad.
helping.
But
Get a
anyway,
double
yeah.
helping of that.
So, and they're the reasons why. I mean, my son one day was like, "I get it, Dad. You're on the road." I was away from my home all the time. I'd be coming from one job to the next, and I'd be planning on being home for a little bit, and I was a company man type of guy. I wore my heart on my sleeve. My job was consuming me to the point where I was making good money, but money's not everything. I wasn't there. I felt like if I can be successful over these last 9 years doing this, I can find something where I'm going to be home. And I started working as an operator in October of last year. And it's very, very nerve-wracking, learning everything in that process and qualifying in that job and being a good niche for that organization and, meeting their expectations. I went from being the boss man to, now I'm I'm fighting for my job, you know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing, change isn't a bad thing. It's an opportunity for me to be home. And I tried for 3 years with this company. I finally got it and I'm making the best of it. Now I have opportunities like this, being on podcasts, being out in the community, playing music, and following a dream and a passion I have.
Well,
I really want to go. For it, man. I really want to go for it. And, it's hard it's hard it's so cutthroat. And I don't know. Houston, definitely. It's one of the biggest cities in the country. I think it's like the 4th largest city in the country. There are so many starving musicians. There's so many amazing people you never hear. I've got friends that all they do is gig. They do it for a full time and they make really good money at it. But the last thing you want to do in an area or in a community where a lot of these establishments, they know each other, and the other thing is like, I don't want to chase a dollar. I don't want to do it to just chase a dollar and on somebody else's struggles, like I like playing in like for instance, this is an amazing opportunity to spread my message, to play music. I like coffee houses. I like places like playing at church. I like doing things that are positive for people, not where they come to necessarily drink away their sorrows, and make $1 off of that. But I've always been passionate about music, and I've always loved to be in front of people, entertain people, tell stories, laugh, jokes, all that stuff. I'm comfortable in an uncomfortable environment. My biggest thing is, even for the haters, I've had so many haters over the years, and it's not something that I shy away from. There's plenty of times I played music and I come in somewhere or whatever, and people are like, who is this guy talking smack or whatever? And then that same person, a lyric or whatever, or just the way that I was playing impact them, and they come up and they introduce themselves, they were totally horrible, but it's a powerful thing, but the biggest thing is not being a hypocritical type of person, when you say something, when you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're being seen. I'm like I said before, I'm a Christian. I have struggles. I have things that I've fallen short on. It's picking yourself up and looking in the mirror, not having regret, and pushing through the adversity, and helping your fellow brothers and sisters along the way. So that's my thing with music. I've been successful, and I've always been somebody that has never been given a fair shake. Even when I was a kid, I was always told I wasn't big enough, or I wasn't strong enough, or I wouldn't be able to do this or that. And I've just always been able to push through it, and with music too. But, I came home, and, you just keep pushing through. You never know where that path is going to go. I wrote a song called Talking to Bruv. It has to do with my relationship with my brother is extremely important, and it has to do with losing people and understanding just how crucial it is with your decision making. And when you do make a decision, good or bad and indifferent, whatever it might be, that you own it, and you keep pushing through and you keep trying to better yourself. And I can play it for you if you want. It's a good song. Instead of me just rambling on, because I don't really have. I came off work. I was expecting to probably be extended, but I came home. I don't really have a go-to list of a mission that I was planning on doing. Just play some music for you and just be as real as I can.
Let's do it, brother.
All right.
Yeah.
In my hometown playground during a pickup football game, this pretty young woman, she was smiling at me. She came over, told me, boy, You know you got cooties. I smiled back at her as I flipped her the bird. Now I was making my decision. I thought about it all day long. I got home, I asked my big bro, hey man, what did I do wrong? Son, sit down beside me. He used to laugh and he smiled. This is what do you do, bro, the next time she comes around? Don't think you can talk to angels. It's not that hard to do. Yeah, just you talk with your honest though, bro. Get honest, you know. Just talk to her like you're talking to God. Cut the brown liquor. I'm coming home from overseas. Oh, I was riding through the desert, and I give a damn about my speed. Yeah. I was riding like lightning. You would think I was all alone. Now I know what it means when I'm hearing riding with Private Malone. Don't think you can talk to angels. And when you think you can't keep going on, just let those tears fall down till that pain's all gone. Yeah, that pain's all gone. Don't think you can talk to angels. Oh, don't think you can. Oh, don't think you can. You just talk with her honest, oh, bro. She gets it honest, you know. Just talk to her like you're talking to God. You talk with her honest. She gets it honest. Just talk to her like you're talking to bro. There you go, talking to bro. Yep. It's a good one. It's a good little story, you know what I mean?
It is a good little story. It's the real life story. It's the real conversation story. That's Aaron Curtis Owen talking to bros.
Yes, sir.
Do you do anything with passion at all there, Aaron?
What do you mean passion?
You hear it in every song you sing so far. Just this driven, driving, just it's on my heart, it's on my sleeve. This is what I do, and it's real life, and it's you're killing it, brother.
Try to be as very transparent and upfront and honest as I can be. I don't like playing games with people. I don't like being something that I'm not. You know, I like the vulnerability of it. I like to be able to collaborate with people and be upfront and honest of it. I would hate to play games with somebody, or at least them play games with me, unless we're both on the same team or whatever, or, it is a game, but I'm that type of person. I don't like wasting time. I don't like being fake. Everything I do has a purpose, I want to be with my family. I want to be home with my dog, and I want to be home with my kids, and I'm going to do everything I can for them,
Speaking of collaboration, you still getting a chance to hang out with that cat, Scotty Frazier?
Every now and then, yes, sir. We get the coffee every now and then. We stay connected. We check in on each other all the time. It's nice to have an accountability partner. It's nice to have people in your corner that support you and that you can call on in a moment's notice, that would be able to be there for you. It's nice. Yeah, I try to be that for somebody else. He's a good brother of mine, and a good friend, and somebody that I love dearly and I appreciate very, very much.
He is a driving force down there in that space. Not to take away from anything that you're getting done, but
yes, sir.
Love the work that he does, and I know that you get invited to some of his events on occasion. And
yes, sir. It's a blessing and honor to be able to share the stage and opportunities to be able to work with my buddy Scotty and Stacia and their family, and they're amazing people, and love her. I love him. He's always been somebody that's been passionate, and he's always been very, very straightforward and honest, and tells me straight up how it is, and you need somebody like that. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You need somebody to be in your corner, and that's a relationship that means a lot to me. So I appreciate you asking. Yes, sir.
how many days of the year do you celebrate the Marine birthday? Just question came up. Just people want to know.
For me?
I'm teasing. You damn Marines. You got pretty uniforms and you got a birthday and everyone. No, I'm just teasing.
Do you know how to tell someone's a Marine?
Share more.
Don't worry about it. They'll let you know.
Right.
You know what? Well, that's funny you bring that up. You know what Army stands for?
What's that?
Ain't ready to be a Marine yet, bro.
Oh, I heard Marine was an acronym. My ass rides in Navy equipment.
You know what Apache is in the Army?
Okay.
It's just a little thing you wear on your sleeve. It's called Apache.
Apache.
Yeah. Apache.
It's got a little Apache there. I love it. That's the funnest part right
we're
there.
Gonna have to send Aaron a box of crayons.
Or like the Air Force, you know what a 155 is in the Air Force? It's the standard paperweight size plate.
Okay.
We can all agree on the Air Force.
Well, come on. We need to get back to the water taxi service. We need some stuff on them.
And the Coast Guard is a minimum of 6 feet to join so you can walk back to shore.
It's funny you mentioned the birthday of the Marine Corps. My minor is in history, and I was researching military history, and little known story about how the Marine Corps was founded. George Washington was, scouting the Potomac, and they had just come in, and there were some boats there on the dock, and he turned to a soldier and he said, "Hey, guard this," and the Marine Corps was born.
Oh.
I love it, dude. That's hilarious. It never gets old.
No,
never gets old.
What was that? Was that at Toon Tavern? Or I'm taking it too serious now, but that's everyone knows the Marine Corps started at Toon Tavern back in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, back in the day.
Yeah, it's such a significant place. All they have is a placard now. I've never been, but Philly's a cool city, man. I've been there a few times. It's a cool place.
I've never been to Philadelphia. I've been to Pittsburgh. I've never. I think I've driven through it, but I've not stayed there. So
Pittsburgh's cool too. Would have to agree. That's a really cool city. Three Rivers.
It's different. It definitely is different. It's I mean, there's a handful of cities that I would love to spend more time in. Pittsburgh is one of those as well, with very rich in history in that space. And so, Trent, we brought up all the problems tonight. Now it's time to figure out how we're going to get them all fixed.
Yeah.
What's the next big thing for Trent Dilks?
Well, for me, I'm currently running for the Minnesota Senate. I think we need more veterans representing, all of us. I think we need more of them in there trying to solve problems. And I looked around and, for over a decade, I've been watching how they messed it up. And I said, I think I can do that. So, no, I've seen the best and the worst of our political system. I've seen it work real well and do the right things and help people and lift people up in powerful ways. And I've seen it all fall apart because of personalities and, titles that people carry and garbage like that. And I think it's time to do something different. I think it's time to have people who are willing to do the right thing no matter what. And no matter what, maybe the party base is or the party line, it takes strength to do that. And I'm hoping to be able to be one of those people. So, early on in my career as a veterans advocate, I traveled around. His name was General Shalato. He was a second lieutenant in Vietnam and a 3-star general when I went to Iraq. I really admired the man. And then he became the Commissioner of Veterans Affairs. And him and I were speaking at a lot of the same events. He was a keynote. I was a warm-up. But we were speaking at a lot of places. And he had a line, and it was, be careful. Real soon, it's not going to be sexy to be a veteran anymore. This was at a time when the yellow ribbons were everywhere, and everybody was thanking everybody. And so it was hard to imagine a time when it wasn't going to be sexy to be a veteran, when it wasn't going to be go and find the benefits and the stuff that veterans need and watch them get voted for. But this last session here in Minnesota, I watched an overwhelming bipartisan, Democrat and Republican vote that would have stripped 80% of the funding from homeless veterans. Both parties, overwhelmingly, only like a dozen had the guts to stand up and vote against it. Would have left our veterans' homes half empty. We actually had the list of the several hundred veterans who would be turned back out on the street in the next fiscal year, and they still voted in favor of the cut. The time when it's not going to be sexy to be a veteran anymore is here. The fight is only going to get harder. You start to look at some of the things they want to do to cut the budget. When they look at the deficit hawks, look at veterans benefits as something that they can reduce to address the deficit instead of a blank check that was written to support the men and women who serve this country. It's a dangerous time. And we got to be able to look at that clear-eyed, no matter what party you identify with, no matter where you're at on the political spectrum. We got to be able to come together on that one thing. So I'm excited to be running and see if I can get in there. And at the very least, I'll be a real pain in the butt for 4 years until they vote me out. But I think it's important to have those people too, to show that you can still do it and that you can stand up for what's right no matter what.
So you have been working in nonpartisan legislation.
Yeah.
Have you created relationships with current people that have served in the military here in Minnesota or?
Yeah. Yeah. With, you mean like lawmakers or just in general?
Yeah.
Lawmakers. I have. I've created relationships across the aisle. I'm very good at nonpartisan. So a lot of people will be surprised when they see the party affiliation. But that's my job. I spent over a decade working with anyone who wanted to help veterans because that's all that was important. But yeah, I have, we have less and less. And now with Senator Howe, he's the one who's retiring in the seat I'm running for. We'll have one less veteran. I think it puts us at 2 in the Senate and maybe 2 or 3 in the House total. So not nearly enough voices that have served their country in that way, serving it in the Minnesota legislature.
And I mean, by no means do I think that should be a criteria, or I mean, it's just nice to know that there's several legislators we go and talk to, like, for example, and we're like, hey, we're back again. We want to have a conversation about how we can be, in theory, $81 million in legacy funds over the last, 6 years. They keep telling us it keeps going back to the general fund because no one's asking for those resources. And it's like, do you remember last year when I was in your office?
Yeah.
Because I'm literally standing right here asking the same thing. We did have Mr. Duckworth, Zach Duckworth, come and speak for the Reads Across America event this year. Again, Trent, we're all about supporting, but we are. Again, nonpartisan is a gigantic piece of our space, only in the fact that we've got men and women on both sides of the aisle that need the help and the support and the resources to get them to the next stage, level, and phase of their life. And if whatever you need in help and resources, please let us know, and we'll accommodate.
And we gotta get back to doing this in a transparent way. The input, I don't care if you're in the majority or minority party, the input is so invaluable. You look at things like fraud. That's what happens when you operate in partisan vacuums. You come up with programs that don't have input from everybody, and from more viewpoints. And it's dangerous. Whether it's your side or the other person's side, it doesn't matter. It's dangerous to continue to operate in vacuums, because that's not how our legislative system is constructed. Not at the state level, not at the federal level. Passing things at 11:59 on the last day of the session is a garbage way to do business.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation that we will have at another time. Because whether we're at the local level or the national level, your job is your job. And, there's never been a job I've been at when I know that there's a deadline. I'm a school teacher. I know that the end date is here. I don't get to say, well, we didn't get this done, so we're gonna kind of half butt it into the next however many days. And the reality is that now there becomes the deadline to leave. And are they really working to get the job done, or are they just working to get out of there? That's the other part.
Well, and how much of it is just grandstanding, man? How much of it is just, I got to put certain things in to get my base because I need their $50 come next election season. I know it doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. It ain't going anywhere, but it's what I have to do to make sure that people give me, like you say, their $50, $75 so that I can run for reelection. One of the things I've said is, I think a big part of the problem is you got a bunch of lawmakers who don't want to get fired. And I think in that job, as soon as you don't want to get fired, you better quit. As soon as you're making decisions not to get fired, to not have your party turn on you, anything but what your constituents want, you start operating as a lawmaker to not get fired, you should quit. Because you're not doing the job the right way. You're doing it to appease the party, to appease the funding, to appease the donors. Constituents first, and that's it.
How do you feel about term limits for legislators?
Hate it.
Hate it.
All right, here's why. Real quick, I hate term limits. All right, let's say you put a term limit on the U.S. House of Representatives, right? What's four terms? Okay, 4 terms. Now, the third most powerful, second most powerful person in the country is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, right?
Yep.
The maximum amount of experience you want that person to have is 6 years. Coming to testify in front of the U.S. Intelligence Committee is a CIA insider who has been in that operation for 40 plus years. And the person running that, the maximum amount of experience you want them to have, questioning that lifetime member of whatever government organization, is 6 years. They barely know where the bathrooms are in the building in the first 4 years, let alone how to write legislation. What happens is if you put in term limits, You empower the people who are the professional staff members. You come in as a newly elected representative. They hand you a staff, and there's a senior staff member from somewhere who got promoted into your office. You don't even know who they are. They hold your hand. They tell you which legislation to include, what meetings to go to. And then as you gain experience, hopefully you gain independence. But all you're going to really empower is the professional staff members, the party machinery that operates, because you won't have the guy who's got 20 years experience as a lawmaker that goes, no, that's bullshit. I was here a decade ago when we stood up that program. That's not what it was supposed to do. So I don't like term limits. There are term limits. It's every election. You got the choice to fire whoever you want that represents you. I've noticed that a lot of term limits are for someone else's lawmaker. I think that, Nancy Pelosi should be term limited, or I think that, Mike Johnson should be term limited. They're never talking about their own. They're talking about somebody else's. That's not how representative democracy works. Every election's a chance to impose your own term limits. If you don't, then that means you want that person there representing you.
Well, I appreciate that feedback. I appreciate that. We're going to have to get together. You're not too far from me. We need to have some deeper conversations and get this thing rolling, man. Get this thing rolling.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the chance to talk about it. The downside of being nonpartisan for a decade is now I'm running. I don't have that. I don't have those connections. Somebody who's been working inside of the parties for a decade. They got the list of people to donate and the door knockers and all that stuff. So I'm starting out a little bit behind, but that's all right because I can also speak to everybody, not just to my base. So.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. I got there. We'll connect again on this. Aaron Curtis Owen, what is the next big thing for you?
Getting qualified in my job, man.
I don't know if you mentioned what you transitioned to.
So I went from industrial hydroblasting as a project manager, and now I am a in-training operator, process operator in a chemical facility. More specifically, tank farm in Houston, Texas. And it's kicking the pants every day I show up there. It's nerve-wracking from it's a lot of information in a short period of time, and being somebody that fits in with the guys that are there and being part of the unit and learning it, man, starting from the bottom and working my way up once again. It's not a bad thing. It's, it's something I've wanted to do for years. It's challenging myself. It's a lot of information. I've got every tank that I'm responsible, the ins and outs on my wall in there, It's like, I think I got like 30 tanks, It's learning all those lines. There's hundreds and hundreds of lines that transfer chemicals from one place to the other. It's mind-boggling, man. So it's a challenge. That's what I'm putting my energy towards, my kids, making sure my kids are good and learning my job.
How many dates a year do you get out to play music?
Rarely. So I do shift work now, so I work half the month. I'm on a rotating shift, and I basically work 2 weeks out of the month, and I'm off 2 weeks. So I have my schedule out for the next 10 years. So it's just getting the resources I need, and getting out there and putting in the grunt work. As far as from a gig standpoint, I'm taking care of making sure my kids are set up. With school and I work days and nights, so making sure that they're taken care of, and they're where they need to be, and it's a lot, man. But the good thing about like using the internet and platforms like this is I can reach an audience that I necessarily wouldn't be able to. Same with when I was on the road working. I'd love to make an album one day. It costs money, so I'm a perfectionist when it comes to things that I do. I'm very, very passionate about what I put my mind and energy towards. So I don't want to waste people's time. I don't want to waste my own time. If I put myself out there for an album, I want it to be something that I go for gold with. I'm very passionate about what I do, but it is therapeutic for me too. So I love what I do. I love the opportunities I get, play for people, and the reward is at the end of the day, at the end of the song or whatever. People are genuinely the nicest that I've ever been treated in my whole life is playing music with somebody that's a complete stranger, and you're like, I'm on the right road, because they're kind of blown away, and it just humbles you. You're not very arrogant, but at the same time, you're going down the right road, and you're doing the right things. It's reassuring, and it feels good. So,
what's the last song you got for us tonight, brother?
It's one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's called "Time on the Bottle." It's very much like a bar, fun, sit around the campfire kind of song that everybody gets to join in with. And the chorus is basically like this. I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle, babe. I got time on the bottle, bro. 'Cause the bottle's got time on me. Yeah, I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle, babe. I got time on that bottle, bro. The bottle's got time on me. I went down to the corner store. I bought myself a brew. I made my way down to the docks just to see what I could see. Yeah. Well, I popped the cap, I let it slide. I'm looking out to the sea, man. Let outside, then somewhere around heard that old faint sound. So I took the rest of that brewski down. I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle, babe. I got time on that bottle, bro. 'Cause the bottle's got time on me. Got on that plane, all of us were insane to do just what we did. Well, we stopped in an old Irish town. The Guinness wasn't making an old faint sound. I laid on my back, I thought about Jack. We'll go back home, praying we wouldn't crack. Somewhere around I heard that old faint sound, so I took the rest of that Guinness down. I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle, babe. I got time on that bottle, bro. That bottle had a time, it had a hold on my soul. My buddy was 19, he went over to Iraq. What's he got blown on his back? Some Lima company didn't come back. I got time on the bottle for him. I got time on the bottle for them. I got time on the pot. So much time smoking, but I forgot. Man, it must have made me right. I get time away. Yeah. I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle. Time on the bottle, babe. I got time on the bottle, bro. I got time on the bottle. 'Cause the bottle's got time on. I got time on the bottle, my friends. I got some friends I made along the way, and just like you two. Some are buried away. Got time on the bottom, my friend. And I got you on my mind. I got time. On the bottle, I got time on the bottle. I got time on the bottle, babe. I got time on the bottle, bro. 'Cause that bottle's got time on me. I got time on the bottle around town. Little time on the bottle.
That's Aaron Curtis Owen. Time on the bottle. That I've been putting together a little ditty. It's called Bourbon Slow Dance, but it's that narrative. To be honest with you, it's going through the phases of life, and then you end up being in a space and a place, contemplating what was it all worth? What was it all for? As you sit with a smoky, little delicious highball glass of the nectar of the big man, and there's things like you missed out opportunities because life gets past you, life gets behind you, and you got to figure those pieces out along the way. But again, you inspire me, brother. Love the passion and drive in all your craft. Love what you're getting done in life. We're at that phase and place in our show where we got to bring it to a close. We've learned some things about two amazing people that are driven to serve their communities, their families, and the mission doesn't stop. We'll just do the round course here. Frank usually starts for us, and so we'll go Frank, Aaron, Andrea, and Trent. Go ahead, Frank.
All right. We talked tonight about a lot of things having to do with veterans and their treatment. When I retired out of the Pentagon. And one of the things we were able to do was to schedule an appointment and sit down with a VA representative and go through your records page by page. And what happened was the representative would tell you what to put down on your claim. So everything that we turned in was not, it was scrutinized just like all the rest of them, but it had already been worked out so that it would go through the system. And I always said that if I could change one thing in the way that veterans were treated, it would be to have one of those VA representatives at every installation, at least one, and have them do the same thing for all the people in the armed forces and not just the folks in the Pentagon. Because I'm one of those guys that, I mean, I joined the Army, I enlisted. I didn't go directly into the military academy. And I think it's just abhorrent that there's places and things that are done differently for people that aren't accessible to all the members of the armed forces. And so I think that would go a long way toward helping get things through faster, helping get things through complete, and be a big boon to all the folks that are retiring from the military. And that's my thoughts for today. And hopefully one day there'll be a way to do that.
Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Final thoughts, brother.
I'm blessed and honored to be on the show again. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to include me. Frank and Trent, thank you so much for your all's passion. Thank you for your commitment to the country. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to veteran services, veterans advocacy, whatever it might be at state level, even the Senate level. It's commendable. I would love to be in an opportunity where I could do some political movements, you know, and it starts, for me, it was always at the local level, you know. Growing up, I always knew how important the Constitution was because of my grandparents, most importantly, my grandfathers. They stood for something, you know. They fought for something. They fought for something they believed in, and they continue to put themselves in vulnerable positions, no matter if it was contradictory or not, because they believed in something. You know, they served their country, they went to war, and they had their families and they had their lives, and they continued to fight for that. And it's commendable. And I'm blessed to be on a couple-hour podcast with y'all and share this space. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to include me. For me, it's continuously being that person that's that's somebody that's dependable. You know, I'm not on social media. I'm not somebody that's out there that publicizes my life, you know, because at this point in my life, you know, my family is very, very important to me, and being in the spotlight, I love it, but I love them more. It's very, very touchy time for me. So to be out and be vulnerable right now is a little bit difficult. So I really do appreciate the opportunity to move forward with y'all. And I wish y'all nothing but the best. Trent, I hope that everything works out. I would love to be living in Minnesota to be able to vote for you, man. I'd love to be able to link up, you know, and be able to talk outside of this platform as well as Frank, you know. And I just really do appreciate all the hard work that you guys put in. It doesn't go unnoticed. I know how difficult it is. So keep up the fight. You know, you got my support. I'll pray for you. My family does very, very much pray and care about the people that are in our lives. So I definitely add you to that prayer list. And, you know, just know that everything that I do, I got you guys in my thoughts and prayers. And You know, I just want to see everybody successful, you know, coming home, you know, the guys and gals that have fought and served this great country, that it doesn't go in vain, you know. And the one thing that I can do, I might not be in a political arena right now, but I can be that change. I can be that positivity that we so need in this country right now. And that's I think commendable. You know, I think it does a lot of disservice to stand for something and not put it into action. You know, I love y'all's passion, and I loved hearing y'all's stories. And thank you for taking time out, Patriot Project, to have me on here and hearing a couple of songs that are really raw and really real to my life, you know, over the years, and have helped me in a lot of dark times and a lot of adversity that I've fought through over the years. So I think a few points is moving forward. One of the things that was always, you know, this might help you, Trent, is the fact that, you know, when we were kids, you know, we watched advertisements in movie theaters. We watched our country get attacked. You know, everybody's homes and foundation of this country was attacked. You know, fast forward after we committed our lives. You know, you graduated in 2004 and I graduated in 2003. The same thing kind of happened. You know, everybody was on a high and then it was a low, and there's things that, you know, you can go off in tangents about what did and did not happen, but we answered the call, and they put the call out there. And my own personal experience, they spent a lot of money on us going overseas and doing our job, but they did not spend any money coming back home, dude. So for me, I felt a disservice. There wasn't a process, like Frank said. There wasn't an outlet. That doesn't make it less of an importance for me to fuck my life off. And I don't mean to cuss, but, you know, for me, I already had things going on in my life, but before I got out of active duty, that I was working on, you know. So when I transitioned out, and this is the problem, is the system's messed up to the point where I put in a claim at 24 years old. It took 17 more years for that claim to really, you know, transpire, because for what they say, it wasn't a built claim. I didn't know that, you know, like I didn't have anybody to navigate that process, anybody there to say, hey, like Frank said, I didn't have anybody to know the language to put in there. And the VSO that I used in Dayton, Ohio, after 5 years of college, that I put myself through college, when I was at the VFW, the commander said, hey, what's going on with your claim there, bud? And I only celebrate the Marine Corps birthday one time. I don't know, man. To be honest with you, you know, I have no idea. It's been problematic because no one was there to help me. Oh, well, all those things that you had in your medical record, did you claim them? All the Navy Hospital Camp Pendleton, the outpatient treatment, the PTSD treatments you had at the command and things like that you were working on, and your injuries. No, I didn't do anything. I just gave them my medical record. I filled out a paperwork, and about 7-8 months later, they gave me a service connection rating of 0. And I went 5 years of trying to handle things at a 24-year-old when really I was like 19, because let's face it, you know, the Marine Corps was different, because if I got in trouble out in the Marine Corps, those 4 years that I was there, I got a double whammy. I got in trouble when I was out in town. I got in trouble when I got back. But anyway, my point is, navigating that process, there wasn't like OIF veteran centers weren't there prevalent yet. It wasn't information really out there because I hand walked my medical record to Columbus, Ohio in 2007. And I started college in January of 08. Now, I hadn't gone to school in 4 years. So when I was doing outpatient treatments, they're like, this guy is, one of the 0.1% that is able, with all the problems that he has, all the things that's going on, is able to function. Because everybody that was in that program, majority of them were living under a bridge, or they weren't functioning. They didn't have a career. They sure as hell weren't putting themselves through college to get a bachelor's degree. My frustration, I've never been somebody that was going to roll over and let somebody tell me what I can and cannot do. I just didn't have the tools necessary to be successful because now I wasn't educated. I wasn't educated on that. Temp and Tap program wasn't really, it was like, this is the kind of thing, and when I got out there, it was still really raw because they built us up to go to combat, and they spent a lot of money on us to go overseas, So when I got out, I didn't have the resources. I didn't have somebody there in my corner go, hey, bud, I know they service connected you at 0, but I didn't have that for 5 years. When I finally did get it, when I had a little bit in my corner, then I was at 30. Then they denied me for some stuff, right? They denied me for a lot of things that happened when I was overseas in Iraq. That happened to me. So then when I moved down to Texas, 3 years after that, I went to a VSO in Galveston, Texas. And through Texas Veterans Commission, through the help of a VSO, they helped me with my service connection. So then that went to 70%. But that was in 2017. Remember, I got out of active duty the end of 07. So then it wasn't until 21 that I was at 90%. 90%, right? I'm still dealing with it. But for me, it's what's really the end mission? 100%? No, it's getting out there and doing my job. But I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the know-it-all. I didn't have, like Frank said, my injuries and my things that I have now, I had in 2007, 2008. I already rated that rating back then. I just didn't have the information. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have somebody in my corner. Now you have people making money on how to make a claim. I think it's sick, dude. Like, for me, it's not about, that's not the end game, My thing is, I don't want somebody to go through the same experience for 20 years that I had to go through and experience, you know what I mean? To get the benefits that I felt like I could have had in 2008. So then I started to go through the backlog in 2013, 2015. When the administration and VFW, those people got fired, dude. Like, I've always been somebody that was up against it, So that's where I bring my passion for music. That's where I bring my passion for my kids, for my job. Like, no one's ever gonna tell me no. No one's ever gonna keep me down. The only people that keep you down is yourself. And the biggest thing over the years was somebody to be in my corner, like a Scotty Frazier, like a Shannon Book, like people on the People's Patriot Project that understood, that had the empathy. My degree's in organizational leadership. I can learn all that, but until I go out there and understand people and how people function, you can learn that. And the biggest one is your own life, your own experiences, your own failures, and your own shortcomings. I just don't want somebody to have to go through that same process, I just think the information was never until I made a claim, the information was never looked at. It was like, oh, well, out of sight, out of mind, you know. And most veterans, most our guys that went to Iraq and Afghanistan, most people don't want to ask for help. And when they do, and you have an experience like that, oh, well, you didn't have a bill claim or you didn't have this and that. I think it's BS, man. You should, my thought process, I did what I needed to do to serve my country. I thought when I give them my medical record, they're going to do right by me, but they don't. They don't do that until you make a claim, which is, I don't understand. You're making a claim. The information's already there, but it's not going to go through. They're not going to go through it and look at it and sift through it until you start claiming something. And then they're going to be like, oh, really? Yeah. Well, come on, prove it to us. You know? I don't know. Sorry.
No,
tangent, but if you're going to go into my personal experience that I've had, I don't know if it's if I'm just like the one and only people that have had to deal with that, but that's my own personal experience over 20 years. No one's going to ever hold me down, but it hurt a lot. You know, it shouldn't be that way. It should be, and then this guy served our country. He, you know, let's do right by him, you know. So at the end of the day, they don't have to pay out those benefits for 5 years while I was in college. Yeah, and let's be honest with you know what I mean? Because I didn't know how to navigate that. It doesn't mean I didn't rate it. It doesn't mean I don't rate what I have now. Back in 08, 07, you know what I mean?
Aaron, you have your supports you need, or you have them now, right?
What's that?
You have the supports you need now, right?
Man, I just keep plugging away. You know, I got people that I'm working with at Wounded Warrior Project and stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it's only gonna make my testimony stronger. I don't think it's necessary for people to go through all that. You know, I certainly don't want to see my son that just left for San Diego. MCRD San Diego go through that when he comes back home. God forbid he is called upon to go overseas, or you know, he went active duty. But even my buddies that were with Lima Company 325 out of Columbus, Ohio, they had the biggest casualty at that particular time. When I got home in 05 in Iraq, the largest one. You know, his Amtrak was blown over on top of itself, and he died. Wesley G. Davids. And Wesley was my buddy from high school, you know what I mean? And I had just got home. And I was active duty. He's a reservist. What's the difference, you know what I mean? Both Marines. There's always something that you know, he's somebody that I always fight for, you know. He's on the wall of remembrance. And he's on the traveling wall, goes around this country. You know, I never forget my buddy, Wesley. He's my brother, man, you know. Steven, his brother, went into the Marine Corps as well. His mom worked for the local government. When I got back from Iraq a couple years later, at my elementary school in Dublin, Ohio, they created the grounds of remembrance in his name, and it was behind my elementary school library. And you know, I think about him all the time, dude. You know, and I could have been right there too, just as easily. You know, I got hit by a freaking IED, an anti-tank mine, riding in a freaking convoy, dude. You know. That time, improvised explosive devices, you know, it was intense. But, yeah, you know, it could have just been as easily as me. And I don't want to see my son. I don't want to see my son have to deal with the same things, you know. I'm glad that I had that experience.
Daddy.
Yes, baby.
I love you.
Love you too.
I gotta know. Did she get the whipped cream?
Did you get any whipped cream, baby?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Good deal. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Aaron, your
I didn't mean to
blessings
go.
out,
I didn't
buddy.
mean to go. I didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole again.
You're
but
good, man. This is
I think the information's good, especially. You know, we can learn from things like that. You know, it's to have the information and not learn from it and do something about it.
Well,
that's even more of a disservice to have the information and not do anything for it.
my biggest concern, and you're going to get put on our call list, but I just need to know you're in a safe place, you're good to go, and that we'll move forward together.
Yeah, I only got 50 pounds on the bar, dude. I'm good.
You keep working. I'm going to take that as a challenge.
Yeah,
I've taken some time off too.
This is my little man cave, man. So this is my garage. This is my house. This is my little space. You know, I don't have a lot, but I love what I have. You know what I mean?
Amen.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yes, I'm in a good place.
Good.
Complete with a cute doggy.
That's Janelle. Yeah, she's an amazing dog.
Sweet.
Miss Eichmann, final thoughts.
Is it really to me already? Wow. Hey, I want to reiterate our thanks to both Trent and Aaron. Thank you for being on tonight and your candidness, your openness. And once again, not surprisingly, you're here because you care about others and you want to help others. And I just will, not being military, but being a student forever. And I feel like when I teach, I learn as well. So that's me being a student. I might be stuck in 8th grade for a long time, but it opens up more opportunity to learn more things, I think. But we need to take care of ourselves a lot, or we can't be any good for anybody else. And self-care, I don't know. We all need to work on it. We all need to put ourselves first. Doesn't matter if we start at 50 pounds or 22 pounds. We need to keep working towards that. But Trent, to your words, and this is all the way back to the beginning about the awareness. I didn't want to chime in your moment, but I joined the People's Patriot Project with Peterson in the beginning. It was the two of us pounding away at perfecting bylaws and all the crap, excuse my language, that goes with the beginning of the nonprofit, right? Names and who can draw our logo and branding, everything else. And that's in hindsight, that's the good stuff, because when we started digging in and digging down, I think we were about a year in, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of sick of the awareness. Like if I know, if the number 22 is already meaningful and powerful for me, and I have relatives all over that have served and are still serving, and it's very powerful. Crap, there's enough awareness out there. Put our feet in our boots and put those boots on the ground. Who can we help? Where are they? How do we find them? And that kind of redirected our energies, not our mission or our passion at all, but our energies then were moving forward to, like, if paying a bill for somebody gets their mind ready to move forward and their heart less concerned about tomorrow and how we're going to get to tomorrow, then let's pay that bill. Let's raise some funds and let's put Christmas lights up for somebody. You know what? One of our first big missions, we helped a very recent amputee from the knee down decorate. This was done mid-October. We helped him put up a Christmas tree and decorate the Christmas tree because he was feeling pretty worthless in the moment. He was struggling making pancakes one day for his kid. And so those are the easy things, you guys. We can help with those things. We just have to make sure and get there before those little concerns build up into bigger concerns. And it helps. It works. We have to listen. So we got rid of that terminology. We became like a powerful movement moving forward, heading off the reasons for the struggles. it seems like there's a lot of us that feel the same way. I mean, we run into group after group after group on here every week. And I mean, 288 episodes plus in. There might be two groups that we've kind of been like, I don't know where they went. We haven't heard from them. They didn't want to work together. That's okay. The other 200 plus, 250 plus groups, we're trying to create a net, a web of sorts, so that we can all work together and create just a stronger, wider net, and not letting anybody slip through. I mean, there's groups out there that have amazing processes already, and we have a pretty good process. If we just need to be able to link everybody and put it all together. And I just think we can do a lot, and we can do it better. So you two, Aaron and Trent, you're a huge part of that already. Frank came from poof, nowhere, and there he was, and we snatched him right up. And Frank is a great gift to our team as well. And I just sent a board meeting notice out. We have amazing people on our board, our volunteer crews, but we need to keep reaching out further and further. And Trent, you're just in St. Cloud. We're just almost neighbors. So we'll be climbing up that backyard too. Thank you again.
Mr. Dilks.
All right. First, I'm going to go with a quote by Sorkin. It's decisions are made by those who show up. Decisions are made by those who show up. There's a lot of people frustrated with how things are going and the ways things are happening in a lot of areas, veterans areas, out in the public, politically, you name it, their local schools, wherever it might be. There's a lot of frustration. Ultimately, the decisions are made by those who show up, though, not by the people who are online spouting the same lines, not by people who are, strongly entrenched in their opinions and just want to beat everybody over the head with it. It's the people who actually care enough to show up at the meeting, to organize the group, to take the time to participate in the process. Those are the ones who are making these decisions. It's the people who show up that, influence whether or not the decision is made. If the lawmakers thought people were paying attention and we're going to hold them accountable, do they vote for an 80% cut in homeless veterans funding? No, but there's not enough people showing up. There's a lot of people who say, I'll vote for this no matter what. I'll vote for this party no matter what. There's nothing you could do that makes me vote for the whatever party. That's not accountability. That's not showing up, and that's not going to make a difference. And the second one I'll give you, and my last one here is change isn't easy, but it's worth it. And I think I made that quote up. Change isn't easy, but it's worth it. I have had some huge victories. We've changed laws to help widows of veterans stay in their homes. We've done some amazing things, and I've been lucky enough to organize it, but it's taken thousands showing up to make those differences happen. It's not easy. Sitting behind the computer, retreating to your foxhole, sticking with your entrenched ideologies, that's easy, that's safe. Taking your ball and going home saying it's too broken, I can't fix it, that's easy, that's safe. Making the actual changes and making the differences that we need for veterans, for others, for our first responders, for everybody, it's going to be hard. But everything that's worth doing is hard. So we got to do hard things, and we got to keep moving forward. I sure appreciate the opportunity to be here. If there's ever another opening, I'm happy to do it again. I got a lot of other things I can talk about as well. So thank you so much.
What a blessing. Again, the conversation is dynamic. It's real. There's an understanding. We come here every weekend and we get a new flavor because of a new and different perspective, all based around the same stuff. We had an amazing opportunity to hear from two amazing men who have put their name on the line and haven't walked away full. Haven't walked away necessarily complete, but realize that that's a work in progress. We understand that this is all based on a process of education, learning and growing. the version of you should be of you tomorrow should be better than the version of you today. And that should be one step in the direction you need to go. There's a reason why, and I'm throwing all the cliches out there, there's a reason why the windshield is larger than the rearview mirror, because that's where the focus should be. Forward, moving forward, making a difference, making the changes, and being a better version every single day. Set goals. Thank you for both of you for coming on tonight. Thank you for the amazing, holy cow. We got royalty in the house. Scotty Frazier, Semper Fi, brother. Tonight was about Trent and about Aaron, and we gave them that space and place to share. You guys always have a place and a home here. We're here every Sunday night. Plus, the vision and the mission of the People's Patriot Project works daily. There is no on and off switch to our open sign, and there is no destination to where we're going. There's no completion until we bring them all the way home. Thank you again, Trent and Aaron, for being on here. Thank you, Frank and Andrea, for the support you've given and letting We Got Your Six do what you do. Hey, Scotty Frazier, thank you. I am guaranteed he is the one guy that I know for sure that checks your six. I get a message from him at least twice a month, just checking in, doing all this stuff. Excited about the work Scotty Frazier's doing out there. Jeremy Daniels, good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. We are with you. Aaron, if you get a chance, check out Jeremy Daniels. He's got the story out there. He's definitely not complete. Talk about turning in his orders. The guy's got MS due to the inhalation effects overseas, over in the country. Deal with him, work with him, see what he's got going on. He has not gotten his full rating. Brotherhood and Sisterhood, come check us out Mondays at 16:30 for We Got Your Six at 6. That's not true. The WP3 weekly debrief, I'll get it right eventually. And then we are just making sure we got guests for next week. Next Sunday, we have Jeremy Wayne McKern right now, musician, coming in hot, sharing his mission, and we'll get another guest in there as well. Thank you, everyone. Check your six. Patriot Pride. We'll see you when the smoke clears. Boom.